Hello, gorgeous. Today we are going to take a look at a Reddit post that I saw online. And in there, OP is asking, am I the a-hole for leaving my mom at the airport with no ticket and no plan? This does sound pretty bad, so let's see. OP begins. This still weighs on me. Some background. My mom was abusive growing up. It got bad enough that at 12, I left home through the courts and moved in with my dad. That decision fractured our family. On the court paperwork, under name of child, she wrote something like, I have no son. I've carried that with me ever since. OP, that is not a good start. Your mom does not sound nice, or maybe you were justified in leaving her at the airport. Let's see. So how did you meet again? I had little contact with her after that. Briefly, at 17, again in my early 20s, and not consistently until much later. I'm now almost 40. I spent over 20 years drinking heavily and finally got sober in 2018. Let me just interrupt you there, OP. That does sound good. Congratulations for getting sober. Okay, so what happened in 2018? In 2018, which is when I made an effort to reconnect with my family, including my mom. She's closer to 70 now and has zero contact with 2 of her 3 kids. Again, that does not sound good. I mean, good on you for getting sober, but I am wondering if it was a good idea to reconnect with your mom just after you got some stabilization back in your life. Let's continue. Reconnecting wasn't easy. Oh, I can imagine. When I asked if she ever reflected on the abuse, she told me I was an adult and needed to let it go already. Stop again, that's so not nice. Yeah, OP also said that was a turning point. I realized any forgiveness would be one-sided. If I wanted peace, it was on me. Yeah, exactly. Good that you realized that. So how did you end up at the airport though? Let's continue. Since then, our relationship has been rocky, but present. We've had family reunions and even traveled overseas together for 3 weeks. We argue often, usually over small things, but we stayed in contact until this. Last summer, I invited her to my city to see a band she's loved since I was young. So sweet. The plan was simple. She'd arrive on Wednesday, we'd go to the concert on Thursday, she'd fly out to visit my sisters on Friday, and I'd leave early Saturday for my own trip. She agreed. Okay, that sounds good, and she got contact back then with the sister too, I assume. When she arrived, she mentioned she'd only bought a one-way ticket. Oh, okay. And would book the Friday flight later. That made me uneasy. Yeah, it makes me uneasy too reading that. Looks like she had some sort of scheme. And I reminded her several times to make sure it was booked. I thought I was clear in my wording and tone that I didn't want anyone staying in my house while I was gone. Yeah, that's pretty reasonable, to be honest, not gonna lie. Friday came. The concert was fine. Then she told me she still hadn't bought a plane ticket. Huh? What? Why not? And now, with prices having gone up, she planned to stay a few extra days while I was away. No, hell no. I hope OP said no to this. What's that? I told her plainly, I'm leaving at 5 a.m. tomorrow. You need to get on that plane. I even offered to cover this extra cost. She refused and invited herself to stay at my place. That's when I said clearly that I wasn't comfortable with anyone staying in my home while I wasn't there. Yeah, again, that's completely reasonable, especially given like the shared context and like the shared history, you know, with her like saying she had no son. So who you want to stay at then, huh? Not your son's house, I guess. She accused me of not trusting her and said she was my mother. Okay, so at least she realized that she has a son, huh? When it's convenient for her. I said it wasn't about trust. I just didn't want anyone in my house. The argument escalated. Finally, she said, "Fine, take me to the airport." I think she expected me to cave. OP, I think that too. I didn't. I packed the car, grabbed my daughter, and drove her to the airport in silence. When we arrived, it felt like a standoff, like she was waiting for me to say, "Never mind, don't go." I didn't. I took her bag out, set it on the curb, and told her, "If you can't find a ticket, let me know. I can help you pay for a hotel." That's so nice of OP. Then I left. Months later, I'm still thinking about it. I don't think I stranded my mom with no options. I offered to cover the cost of the flight and hotel. But I did leave her at the airport, knowing she hadn't booked a ticket. Am I the a-hole? Well, I think that's a pretty cut and dry story. Let's see what the top commenters had to say. I looked through like a few comments actually, and I really agreed with what the top commenter said, so I'm also gonna read you this top comment. Do you realize, OP, that you just explained how her abuse and manipulation is continuing? This was the abuse cycle you just typed out and are still carrying it since it's hurting you so much. She's never once accepted accountability. You can forgive, but you don't have to accept. And I wholeheartedly agree with this comment. OP, I do commend you for A, getting sober, congratulations on that, and B, for trying to establish a relationship with your mom, a person that has hurt you so much in the past. However, she does not seem like a nice person from how you describe it, and I think you absolutely made the right call to establish a boundary and then be clear about it and not cave in. I believe that it's communication like this that may lead to a non-abusing relationship with your mom sometimes in the future maybe. But for now, please don't feel bad. Your mom is in her 70s, and when she hasn't like heard the bell by now, with 2 out of her 3 children having little to no contact with her, then that's on her and not on you to fix anymore. But I do wish you best of luck with your mom, and my verdict is that you're not the a-hole at all. Well, that was one story. Do you agree with the verdict that OP isn't the a-hole? Or do you believe they should have taken care of their mom even more than they did? Our next story also has a relative that ended up not being welcome at the house. I'm gonna show it in the next video. That's about it. See ya!